So you're telling me Min Hee Jin consulted a shaman about BTS's military enlistment and was not only personally responsible for G-Friend's disbandment, but actually every single thing that went wrong in K-pop since 2021? But also this won't have an effect on NewJeans' comeback? Oh, and HYBE used the SSERAFIM to screw over NewJeans, but also wanted to use NewJeans to crush aespa? Is that what you're telling me? There has been so many updates since my last deep dive into the subject that, of course, we have to make a part 2 into this deep dive between ADOR versus HYBE, their whole feud, how all of these groups are involved. We now have aespa and the SSERAFIM dragged into this. Before it was just, NewJeans and Eyelid. So if you're interested in joining me to learn about this roller coaster and see what's actually going on, I've seen some really wild accusations on TikTok. Like, it's Min Hee Jin's fault that this, like, the most random things that happened in K-pop. At this point, she's probably the reason why 21 disbanded. So let's see what has been going on in this episode of K-pop Investigation, where we take a specific subject and do a little bit of a deep dive into it. This, of course, being part 2. And if this is where everything ends, which I highly doubted, but however many parts there will be to this, maybe in the end, I'll put them all together in one nice long video. But for now, welcome and let's get started. Oh, but before we get into it, don't forget to like, comment, and share this video with friends you don't have. Okay. Let's do a little bit of a recap, because if the first part was a roller coaster, this part is also going to be a roller coaster. I mean, there's so many reports, so many different things that people are saying. So basically, to recapitulate what happened in the last video, the last couple of days really, basically HYBE initiated an audit of ADOR because they were tipped off that Min Hee Jin wanted to go independent with ADOR, wanted to separate from HYBE. To refresh our memory, ADOR is a subsidiary of HYBE labels. Now, at that point, the only thing that HYBE had really confirmed is that there was indeed an audit that had been initiated. As for Min Hee Jin, she actually released a statement that a lot of people found was absolutely wild. Some people totally in support of it, some people thinking it was really weird, essentially putting an emphasis on the fact that Eyelid copied NewJeans. That Belift Lab and HYBE are basically being unoriginal, releasing banality instead of creating new innovative things in the K-pop industry. So that was basically everything we talked about in part 1. So now let's start off with Dispatch's report. Through everything that's been going on recently, we really came to know the nitty-gritty details of how NewJeans came to be, of how ADOR came to be, and how Source Music is tied into all of this. It seems that the NewJeans members were all Source trainees beforehand. In an exclusive report, Dispatch outlined exactly how Min Hee Jin was able to form ADOR, as well as how NewJeans was formed. First, each of the members' trainees period was revealed by Dispatch for the first time. So I guess this is something we didn't know before. I certainly didn't know this before. So Minji joined Source Music in 2017, while Hani joined Source Music in 2019. As we're going to read Min Hee Jin's press conference later, we're going to find out more details about the sequence of events, how essentially they came into the company under the impression that they were auditioning to be HYBE's new girl group under Source Music. Hidden and Danielle both joined Source Music as trainees in 2020. Now, we don't know exactly when Haein joined, but it seems that she was discovered online and they invited her to an audition and she passed and signed with Source Music. So this is interesting, right? Because obviously none of them debuted under Source Music. They all debuted as NewJeans under ADOR. So it seems they were all training under Source Music until the second half of 2021. So Min Hee Jin moved to HYBE in 2019 as the company's chief branding officer. Her role was to take charge of the branding for HYBE's affiliate companies. And it seems that she would be taking on the role of debuting a new girl group. That's what the article is basically saying, but they're adding on that she wanted to be in charge of her own agency, and that's how ADOR came to be created. With this, Min Hee Jin took trainees from Source Music into her own agency. 5 of those trainees included the current members of NewJeans, but instead the training expenses for these 5 trainees for the time they were at Source Music were sent to the agency. So Dispatch is saying that Min Hee Jin does deserve a lot of credit for the formation of NewJeans. However, those 5 trainees in particular were originally chosen by So Sung-jin. Due to NewJeans' success, she was rightfully rewarded though. HYBE's directors allowed her to purchase ADOR stock at low prices in the first quarter of 2023 instead of making her purchase stock options. So because of NewJeans' success, she was able to purchase around 18% of the company, which makes her the second largest shareholder after HYBE. So basically they're saying because of this deal, she was able to circumvent 45% on tax shares she acquired. That's tax stuff. I don't get it. You don't get it. Maybe you do. Let me know. It seems that when she received the stocks, they were in the red. So Min Hee Jin received her stocks from a company that was already already losing money and also did not have to pay any taxes on it. In addition, stock options for a company will vanish should the holder leave the company. However, regular stocks can be freely bought and sold at any time. They go on to write more about this information about the stocks in the company. You can pause if you'd like to read more of it, but the big picture here is essentially that she benefited from HYBE's system, plucking all of the trainees she wanted from HYBE's trainee pool. If NewJeans succeeded, Hee Jin would be credited. If NewJeans failed, the debts would be covered by HYBE, not ADOR. Thus, NewJeans' fame cannot be single-handedly credited to Hee Jin. That's their report. So for now, keep in your mind that Dispatch is trying to paint it in the light that Hee Jin took so much benefit from HYBE. So here's some netizen reactions to this. I thought that it couldn't have been easy to gather 5 members with beauty and skills, but it turns out that she just plucked them. It's a relief that SSERAFIM made it big. Said they were trainees in G-Friend's label, right? Source Music is the giving tree. Minji is NewJeans' most recognizable member, but Hee Jin didn't even choose her. It seems the SSERAFIM had to scramble members together because Hee Jin took all their trainees, lol. There was a reason why the group's members were lacking. So Hee Jin claimed all the acclaim while HYBE footed the bill, lol. I think 20% is too much. She should have just been left with 0% or 5%. Wow, I thought Hee Jin participated in casting the members. I think it's safe to say there's definitely a lot of people really angry with Hee Jin at this point. There's a lot of things that we're still going to look into. However, the support for NewJeans themselves seems to be still quite strong. And I'm going to give you a second to guess what the only natural course of action would be at this point in time. Protest tracks, of course. So let's read some of the protest tracks that were sent. Bunnies belong to HYBE. We support NewJeans. Hee Jin, stop using NewJeans in family. Hee Jin, stop slandering other artists immediately. This is in reference to her bringing up Islet specifically, saying that Islet copied NewJeans. But in response to that, a lot of fans were saying that NewJeans copied Speed, particularly the music video for Body and Soul. Now, if you compare the music videos for Attention by NewJeans versus Speed's Body and Soul, you see a lot of similarities. The vibes are very similar. So people are saying it's hypocritical of her to say that when she herself has seemingly taken a lot of inspiration as well. And there's also rumors that she brought up other groups as well. We'll get into that. But let's read some comments about the protest tracks. Fans are hurting the most because of this. Don't make tear falls from the fans' eyes. They're saying the right things. They made their request clear and to the point. This is the best that fans can do for now. I'm usually against tracks like this, but I'm all for it in this situation. They wrote what was needed. The fans are right with this. The fans have the right mindset. This is the first time I'm supportive of sending trucks. It's so unfortunate for the fans. The fans are smart. The fans have a deep heart. But HYBE's next move in this was to file a formal accusation against ADOR. So here's their statement about this and more information about the audit. According to the audit results, HYBE confirmed and secured concrete evidence that a plan to usurp management control was established under the direction of ADOR's CEO. One of the auditees submitted digital evidence containing information about the plan to seize management control and contact outside investors and admitted that they had written documents to attack HYBE during the investigation. According to face-to-face investigations and the conversation record from the submitted digital evidence, the CEO of ADOR instructed the management team to devise ways to pressure HYBE to sell the ADOR shares it holds. In response to this directive, specific discussions took place on ways to prematurely terminate exclusive contracts with artists and invalidate contracts between the CEO of ADOR and HYBE. Conversations such as pull in global funds and make a deal with HYBE, critically counterattack everything HYBE does, and think of ways to torment HYBE also ensued. The conversation record also contained execution plans such as preparing for a battle of public opinion in May and making ADOR an empty shell and taking it away. HYBE also obtained a statement from the auditee that the wording ultimately leaving HYBE was written exactly as what the CEO of ADOR said. HYBE CEO Park Ji-won said, "I'm apologetic for causing concerns to fans, artists, and personnel of the labels for what happened in the process of upgrading the multi-label system," and added, "Now that the incident has come to a conclusion, we will maximize our efforts for the psychological counseling and emotional stability of the artists who are valuable assets of K-pop." I can imagine it's super difficult on the artists right now who might feel like their futures are at stake because of this, especially NewJeans, who is set to have a comeback soon amongst all of this. So here we have the conversation between ADOR's Vice President A and Hee Jin. So the Vice President is basically writing down some goals, it seems, ADOR becomes empty shell. File a lawsuit for infringement rights. Seek financial investors. CEO Min plus plan to buy out ADOR from HYBE. Suggest that HYBE sell ADOR. Sold at a reasonable price. CEO Min is the CEO of ADOR, plus acquire ADOR shares with the cashed out money, plus newly signed redacted contract. If this happens, the leftover redacted percent that wasn't able to be sold in the past becomes useful again, with Hee Jin responding, wow. So after this, Hee Jin actually did a press conference. The perspective I see and the perspective that HYBE sees seems to be very different. She basically talks about how she never said that BTS copied her, how she didn't betray HYBE, but that HYBE betrayed her actually, and so much more. So let's get into this. So the English translation is from @SnoopySapphic on Twitter, and this translation has 3 million views as of now. She starts off by saying that, she's not a celebrity and all these flashing lights are really difficult for her, and then the reporters ask people to stop taking pictures for now. I have become involved in a lot of rumors in tandem with NewJeans music. I wanted to tell my story after NewJeans music. I was not expecting the audit at all. It began so suddenly on Monday. HYBE is going forward with a public relations strategy stronger than it does with its artists. I have become a witch. My top priority is to clear my name, and the second is to reveal the truth of what happened. It will be a long event today because the ways I and HYBE perceive the situation are very different. She then talks about some dark things, which we're personally not going to discuss in this video, but I will link it if you want to read the full thing. So she addresses the accusations. I did not expect that such attention would be focused on me. I never expected that they would monitor my Kakao Talk messages and want to me. I'm eager to speak, so it would be strange for me not to. I resorted to holding this event at such a short notice. They're hitting me with the management sees frame, but I just cannot agree. I know that's what you read, but when I speak about the plagiarism issue, it's like people dismiss me and think I'm talking about something completely different. So it seems that HYBE took the vice CEO of ADOR's laptop, and that's how they got some of those conversations. And she says that this feels like the greatest scam of all. I know I'm the sinner in your eyes, but HYBE CEO Plucked, who used to be so close to me until lately, and everyone else who attacks me right now has me thinking, what started all of this? She goes on to say that she made an internal report and that there are so many stories that stem from there, and that she's been going through a really hard time the past couple of days. The things that I talked about comfortably with Park Ji-won have made me the grumpy old woman. The things that I've been saying with my vice CEO are just things that we discuss out of intimacy. Yes, some things went over the line, but it's because the conversations have been rid of the context where they came from. If someone framed you in a certain way and edited your own conversations, it would be so easy to make a new story out of it. Can you imagine if every instance that you talked badly about your boss or your higher ups, imagine every single one of those instances was put on paper and used against you? I can't even imagine. And I think there's a part where she even acknowledges you should be able to complain about your bosses. But moving on, she goes on to ask, how can they do this to me? And then she touches again on her mental state. I joined Big Hit Entertainment as the chief brand ambassador, not Source Music. I have never tried to hijack control of ADOR. As an employee, you can complain about your job and your boss. And then she denies trying to take control of ADOR, claiming that things were said, but you would need to know more context to understand. Her attorney basically reiterates this as well. There was no incident where men tried to diminish the company value. You cannot plot to breach the trust. This just doesn't count as that. I'm actually looking forward to the report they're filing to the police. She then claims that it's not her that betrayed HYBE, but HYBE betrayed her, and that they want to take her down because she doesn't want to listen to them. No one has done what I have done during the 30 years in Kpop. So now we're talking about the offer that Hyuk made to her, that he would treat her better than a board member, that they could create the Hee Jin world. She took on the role of creating a girl group because apparently he wasn't confident in doing so. To add on to this part, because it's not in this translated tweet, there's some translations going around to the effect that Hyuk didn't want to create a girl group under Big Hit, claiming that ARMY are too jealous. Big Hit has a lot of female fans because of BTS. We can't make a girl group here because female fans might get jealous of girl groups. We have to make a girl group label. There's a team that already exists. He promised to support her, but at that time there wasn't the label ADOR. It didn't exist. It was before HYBE bought Source Music. Hyuk was the chairman of HYBE. What he suggested was that Big Hit has more fans because of BTS. We needed to make a new girl group label, so let's buy Source Music. They have Trainees, so why don't we use them to debut a new girl group? I said no at first, but I wanted to be cooperative because I had just moved to a new company. Essentially, it was between, starting her own label and using her own money and potentially going broke, or just using an existing company structure already. So I thought, let's just join a company and get paid. She does, however, emphasize that disbanding G-Friend had absolutely nothing to do with her. So this is where we start bringing SSERAFIM into it. Source Music wasn't a well-branded company, and HYBE wasn't even branded back then. So what HYBE told me was, Hee Jin girl group, let's intrigue people with that. And what would a girl group from the BTS agency look like? So that's where everything gets started. And they created an audition process based off of that branding, Source Music and HYBE. And Hani was the first one that they could cast out of those BTS girl group auditions. Danielle, Hedin, and Han joined us. I had control because I was in charge of the creative work. There were trainees other than the NewJeans members, but I pushed it because I thought they would be a good fit. She then talks about 19 and how her and Bang Si-hyuk were kind of butting heads. They weren't really seeing eye to eye. He wasn't really seeing her vision. But then she came to find out that the HYBE girl group was actually going to be centered around Sakura and Chaewon of IZ*ONE, and that's where SSERAFIM was created. I swore at them saying, "Are you out of your minds?" The trainees all came to me because it was going to be a Hee Jin group, not a Source Music group. I never knew that they were recruiting Sakura and Kim Chaewon, but when they said they were debuting that group first, I said I was going to quit and open a press conference. Park Seo-won asked me what he could do to make up for this situation, and this is how ADOR was actually created, because she didn't want NewJeans' debut to be delayed anymore, and they were supposed to be the first HYBE girl group under Source Music. There's a time for everything, and you never explain all this to the members and their parents, I told him. They never apologized to the parents. The parents were so angry. They blamed Source Music because they were afraid that NewJeans might not debut because of the Source Music girl group. I didn't want to turn my back on the trainees because I would be abandoning them. They didn't even let me see the girls. I told them that I'd take these girls because I wanted to help them debut. I wasn't stealing them. So of course at the beginning of the video we were talking about how people are saying she literally just stole Source Music trainees. She didn't even pick these trainees, she just stole them from Source Music. But she's saying it's actually different from that. I thought that making ADOR would be for the good of the girls and the shareholders, but it seems Bang Si-hyuk wouldn't let her do that unless HYBE held a 100% stake in the company. But it was my branding and my creation, but I don't understand why. She goes on to say that had she fought this, that it would have taken so long. And it seems NewJeans' debut was already delayed at this point, so she just gave in. I said that I felt like I was giving birth, and I really did. It would have been disgusting for me to say all this to the children, but I did tell the parents because they too were angry at HYBE. We had so much to say to HYBE. Then Park Seo-won came to us and told us not to promote NewJeans before SSERAFIM's debut because they wanted people to think that SSERAFIM was Hee Jin's girl group. Oh, that's interesting, isn't it? Because a lot of people said that NewJeans came out of nowhere, and they really did. They came out of nowhere. Is this literally why? Were we all thinking it was just some new innovative marketing tactic, but it was really just internal issues that caused that? Bang Si-hyuk asked me, "You can beat aespa in December, right?" But that was never my goal. Now, when aespa was mentioned, it didn't really go over too well with some fans, and actually aespa is trending on X right now. And I found this tweet that I really wanted to share with you guys. Real footage of them trying to step on aespa. I thought that he was a really generous person, but I found that he was different on the outside from how he was on the inside. I know that I look weird to him. He suddenly asked me after NewJeans released Ditto, "Are you happy? Why are you laughing? I want to know." Why wouldn't I have been happy? Doesn't the conversation seem really weird? Our relationship had changed. So she starts pointing at a screenshot of a text conversation at the screen behind her. When the hell can we start promoting NewJeans? The reason that we separated the company was because they broke the promise and debuted Sakura first. There are more text messages being displayed behind her, it seems. This doesn't make sense. It's like you're telling us that you'll meddle with our business and you want to see us do it by ourselves. They expected nothing from us, and that's how I made NewJeans. It's like the stepsisters are bullying me, but I will win. It seems that Park Seo-won told her not to tell people that NewJeans was totally a different team because they wanted to purposely confuse people. Isn't this the true breach of trust? Trying to diminish the value of a subsidiary? It's like just pushing the higher ups. They never let me promote NewJeans as the first girl group from Hee Jin because they intentionally wanted to confuse people. That was all Bang Si-hyuk's doing. Now we're moving on to the mentions of BTS because it was reported that she would consult shamans for like major company decisions or who to hire within the company, and it was reported that she even asked the shaman about BTS going to the military, basically stating that it would be better if they went to the military, right? It would be better for her if they went to the military. The report basically said that she asked the shaman, will BTS receive exemption from military service? And the shaman said that they will go. I will send them. It's not like they won gold medals. And then apparently she asked the shaman to make sure that this happened, saying, I think it would be more beneficial for me if they are not around. It seems that with the shaman, she also mocked Bang Si-hyuk himself, saying that he lacked basic knowledge, that he was only copying and imitating, with the shaman saying even if he copies and imitates, he does it in a way that brings in money. With Hee Jin responding, he honestly got to where he is now by copying my work. This is where the whole accusation comes from, where apparently she said BTS copied her. But in the press conference, she's addressing this. Everything that HYBE was saying is a lie. I never said BTS copied me. They said that I said something along the lines of BTS copying me, which has worked to build up a certain frame against me. I asked the shaman because I was just so curious. How were we to plan our steps if the company's ACE team was going to the military or not? I'm going to report to HYBE for privacy infringement. They're censoring my messages. She is my friend. Can I not have a shaman friend? She asks Hyuk if he's not ashamed of himself and that NewJeans really feels like her babies and that they've been calling her and crying about this, feeling sorry for her, which feels oddly reminiscent of literally when this happened with SM and HYBE. That SM was like, aespa cried about their comeback being delayed and everything, about planting trees and all that jazz. Do you guys remember that? She goes on to claim that a mother of one of the NewJeans member was encouraging her with this, saying that she needs to tell her story because she's being witch hunted. That HYBE was trying to make her the witch and that Source Music is the victim in all this. And she mentions the internal report once again. I would not have made an internal report if it were about the money. I can make 100 billion won without doing any of this. I'm doing this because I have to speak out. This is me. This is why I'm going through all of this. Why would a mother say this? Why can I not be protected? Why do I have to be used by Park Seo and by Pang Si-hyuk? I did everything that I could. Everyone who's worked with me knows how I work. Do I look like such a person to you? We then start talking about her contract with HYBE, which she can't reveal a lot of the details because of the confidentiality clause, but she does mention that they're working on the details because there are unfair terms in the contract. This is the weird thing. I can't say what I'm suffering from. The contradiction in the contract is that the 5% of the 20% that I had and the 2% I gave to the staff, I can't sell. It's like a slave contract. I have to be bound to HYBE forever. With her lawyer jumping in saying she's saying some things that could be misunderstood, but she admits, that she majored in art, so the contract terms are confusing. But it does seem she's addressing the inappropriate external consulting that she was accused of. A venture capitalist friend who I know, I asked what happened with the 5%, and that's how I got in contact with lawyers. Then HYBE turned that into me consulting an outside consultant. But what on earth did I discuss with an investor? I could never leave HYBE should things go there. See how they copied Eyelid? But this is my personal thought. I trusted them and signed the contract. That's how I got into this mess. Then there's some back and forth with her lawyers, with them being like, don't discuss this here. She's like, but I really want to discuss this. But there's a lot of talk of like saying things for fun that is now being taken seriously or being manipulated into her meaning something else about it. So finally she's asked what's going to happen in the future, to which she responds, it's difficult for us to go together, but I'm not interested in taking control. HYBE did all of this. It's not my effort to take NewJeans. How can they do this to me with NewJeans Tokyo Dome concert coming up? We have a plan until the end of the year and HYBE is acting like it doesn't care because NewJeans has nothing planned without me and it's acting like it doesn't care. When she was asked if she plans to break her contract with HYBE, she was like, no, not at all. How could you ask me that? The reason I came forward today is because NewJeans content comes out tomorrow. I knew that if I didn't say anything today that people would talk badly about them tomorrow. So with this, it seems Hee Jin was accused of having a file called 1945 on her laptop. So it supposedly contains subpoints concerning lawsuits, civil suits, media play plans, and more. So it seems that the title itself can be interpreted as wanting to break free from HYBE because 1945 signifies the year of liberation and independence in South Korea. But it seems the title of this alleged file has angered some people. Netizens were in shock that ADOR was seemingly comparing the company's independence from HYBE to that of Korea and Japan. Considering how important the year is, netizens believe that ADOR seemingly compared the desire for independence to a significant part of Korea's history, adding that it seems to boost their ego. Those are simply something like personal doodles with no possibility of being realized. The document was information that had already been leaked to HYBE before the audit results even came out. And this is a statement apparently from a staff from ADOR. Then she's asked if Pang Si-hyuk wanted to talk, would she? And she said, yes, I'd do it for the sake of NewJeans. And more iterations that there was no attempt to take over the company. It's not about the money for her. And that's where it ends. But if you want to read the full thing, I will link it below. Naturally, because of this, people have been so worried about NewJeans, like what's going to happen with their comeback. They're set to have a comeback really soon. And HYBE actually released a statement about this, basically confirming that everything is going as planned. NewJeans plans to continue a variety of activities, including the release of a double single in May and June, in conjunction with the release of a new music video scheduled for the 27th. Our company is committed to doing its best to ensure that NewJeans' comeback activities are not hindered. They're acknowledging the multiple malicious posts that have been made, groundless malicious slander, mockery, and belittlement, and of course the whole legal action spiel they usually make about this stuff. In addition, we plan to provide support in all ways for the psychological healing and emotional stability of the artist. We earnestly request an end to the indiscriminate attacks and belittling actions against the artist. I mean, the fact that this is all so public is really hard to avoid, isn't it? I don't know. Am I being naive? I feel really confident that NewJeans' comeback is gonna be fine. They're gonna be totally fine, right? Right? Like, if you think back to HYBE's feud with SM, it was so messy. And I remember thinking, like, you know, poor aespa, how are they going to recover? Are they going to be able to recover from this? And they're fine. They're literally so fine. But in terms of Hee Jin's conference, HYBE did also respond to that, basically saying there were so many lies to what she said. There's so much that is far from the truth, to the point that it's difficult to go through them one by one. They're saying that she distorted facts, that she's mixing up timelines. We can refute all claims with evidence, but we have decided to not mention them one by one, as we judge they're not worth responding to. However, we will diligently comment about the facts that must be clearly stated in business terms among the inquiries from the media. We respectfully request CEO Min to stop lying that there was no offer for dialogue and that there was no email response, return the information assets as requested, and respond promptly to the audit. And then they ask her to resign from her position, as she has already proven herself unfit to be in charge of management. Also, please stop continuously mentioning artists and their parents, as it degrades the value of the artists. Because of course she's mentioning NewJeans, Islet, and NewJeans' parents as well. So to conclude the basics of what happened today, HYBE is set to file an official police complaint against executives of ADOR on charges of breach in trust and other offenses. Hee Jin, of course, is denying these accusations of trying to go independent with ADOR. So with that, we just have to wait and see what is going to happen at this point. But I'd love to know your thoughts. I know some people are going to be like, don't take sides as of now, but keep this between us. What are you thinking? Do you really think she was trying to take over ADOR? Or do you think maybe she was just making doodles and complaining, and somehow that ended up biting her in the butt? Like, can you imagine like making jokes at your job, or like trashing your boss, or be like, oh, we should take over this company, and then suddenly the police is involved? Or do you really have to do some shady things for the police to even get involved in such things? So of course, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. These are the lovely individuals who help support my channel on a monthly basis. It means the world to me. Thank you so much. As for I'm gonna get going, hopefully see you in the next video. Bye.